How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Yashahime episode review and recap. Today's episode is episode 47, Father and Daughter. But before I begin, please don't forget to give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are, well, I was going to say if you're new here, but you know what? If you're not new here, if you are new here, if you're just perusing by, hit that notification bell so you can be notified of more videos just like this. And don't forget to share that video. In the short term, trying to get to 200, but in the long term, trying to get up to 500. We're going to go goal by goal, everybody. But I will preface this review by saying, holy hell, I didn't think I was actually 100% on the mark, that they rushed the rest of this. Feels like someone said we got to finish season 2 in under 24 to 25 episodes. If my hunch is correct, because they've just been numbering this by 47. It's season 2, 100% season 2, but they've been giving it the continuation of the numbers. If my hunch is correct, I really want to say that we are coming up on the 24th, 25th episode for the season. I really don't know what to say, guys. It's crazy. I still don't care about the Kieran family. And because of online interactions, I really don't care about the Kieran family. It's just there's a couple of plot holes in here, and we're just gonna go straight through this. It's gonna be a ride. So, remember last time, what's his name? Mr. Kieran. Try not to call him by his first name because it sounds so close to a terrorist organization leader. So, Mr. Kieran tried to kill Toa. Wait for that stabby stab. Nah, didn't work because immediately, and I love the fact that they've gone back to this, there's no straight up intro. They're going to, here's the thing that happened, and then here's the intro. And it was Riku. He came from the ceiling, broke free of the, I almost said spider webs, but it's more like silk. So he came through the silk, and, I thought he stabbed Toby, didn't he? Actually stabbed somewhere between her legs, right? And he's choking her, got in the chokehold, and he's like, hey, I can't let him kill you. I'm gonna kill you. You know why? Because I kill the things that I love. Hey, remember when he used to say that in season 1? When like half of this show's characters were like completely different? Like where the only people who were still the same were Toa, Setsuna, Moroha, Kohaku, and Hisui. Isn't it funny that like they're the only ones whose personalities remain? I mean, Sesshomaru withstanding because there's it's very hard to mess him up, right? But from the first season of the show, from everybody that we saw, they kept their personalities. That's crazy, right? And even Riku kept his personality too. Actually, if anything, I give season 2 credit. It expanded upon who he was as a character, and that was the best thing they could have done. So he says he kills what he loves, which is something he said in the first season. And rather than have Kirin Maru kill her, he's going to do it instead. And she's just looking like, oh no, how could you, Riku? Oh, Riku boo, no. And he leans down, whispers something to her. She's like, oh. And Mr. Kieran goes, oh, so we're gonna put a little melodrama in this. And Toa kicks him, and as he's falling back, dude turns around and is like, I'm gonna kill you. Basically, I'm gonna kill you, man. And Mr. Kieran's like, no, and just gives him the biggest, deepest slash ever. Why? But this was just a distraction because Toa was directly behind him, and she stabs Mr. Kieran right in the heart. Good for you. This is so weird, guys. It took the last 3, including this one, the last 3 episodes for me to be like, okay, Toa's okay. Like I don't look down on her like I used to. I'm not looking up at her. I'm not going, hey, good job. No, she's right here. She's a character I can actually tolerate, and that's what your anime's supposed to do. I'm not. I still give you claps for it, but man, good job. Stabbed him right in the heart. Dude's like, I'm not gonna die to this. Grabs her blade, and she's all surprised. And Riku takes Zero's staff, the one that makes the spider webs, through it, wraps him up. This dude's like, he says sister, but he says the other way. I think he said Aniwe. Yeah, Aniwe. Man, I love Japanese. So he wraps her up in that, and Toa is able to just cut his right arm off. Now, you all remember that whole symbol thing? I don't know if any other characters can see, but we can see the whole symbol thing inside of his arm. And once that arm gets cut off, that's how you kill him, apparently, because he was a right arm. So you cut off the right arm. This is my right. And that killed him, which is crazy. That made him disappear in the purple sparklies. And where he says that he guess he couldn't make Rion's dream come true. Meanwhile, we have a very, very, very actively dying Riku on the ground who is talking to Toa saying, hey, thank you. I've been the happiest I've ever been ever since I met you. And you made me especially happy when you told me that I was my own person, which is that's a really kind thing to do, especially when someone has personality. I don't want to say personality syndrome. Trying not to throw my psychology words into this. When the person is like not knowing who they are, especially when you've been told that you're nothing but something to be thrown away. She did him a kindness by telling him that Riku is Riku. He is himself. And where am I at here? He also tells her he wants her to survive, which she agrees to, and he also says, prove that he lived in this world and go and save Rion. And then he tells her that Rion actually still very much loves her father. That was the big secret. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, that's not really much of a secret. I mean, I could be actively angry and go, well, that's dumb because she wanted to kill him this whole entire time. I'm not going to do that. It's not really that big of a secret. It's not that far fetched. If she had any relationship with her father, I would imagine that she still loved him, but she kept denying him. So she's been a brat for these last 2 episodes, so it kind of doesn't surprise me now. But he tells Toa that he loves her, that he truly loves her, because he said he says he truly understands that someone cannot kill something that they truly love. And when he says he loves her, he dies into those sparkly bits. Toa was crying this entire time. Her hair turned from black back to white because she got energy back. Wipes those eyes. He turned back into a horn. So she takes that, I almost said horny Riku, but she takes that Riku. She pockets the now flute sword that Mr. Kieran had, and she moves forward. After our intro song, we have, what do we have here? Nope. We get the Grim Butterfly, and of course, Rion is being dumb and annoying, as she always has been in the last episode. Keep telling Setsuna and Moroha to stay out of her business, and before a net of just threats shred these two, Toa walks in, and she's like, yeah, confirms that she beat Mr. Kieran. Says nothing about Riku, interesting enough. And, where are we at here? Apparently, Setsuna says, we're going to have to cut every thread. Because before Toa can even say, yeah, Riku told me, Rion, like, you still love, and before she can say you still love your dad, she freaks out, sends a red thread at her, she's blocking it, and that's the plan. We're just going to have to cut every thread bit by bit, right? Excuse me. Which is interesting because I thought that Rion was kind of like being a controlled kind of thing, which she was, but she's at this height of emotional breakdown or some crap because she can still see with those red eyes. Meanwhile, Sesshomaru is kicking Kirinmaru's butt. Quite literally, they are fighting, and Kirinmaru still wonders, why do you keep saying I'm like humans? And Joggin is still wondering, like, why did Sesshomaru let Ren stay here? I don't get that. He would never do that. Toa cuts a red thread. We hear more of Rion's thoughts. Kirinmaru is interrogating Sesshomaru more, and their clashes are very fast. Like, they get close to each other, and you don't see their arms moving, but you see the slashes move and clash. I like how that's done. That's very nice. Moroha cuts a thread, and she says that Rion's saying that she's very glad her father was alive. And Sesshomaru looks at Kirinmaru and says, there is no value in me crossing swords with you. Kirinmaru tries to make a counterattack. Sesshomaru cuts this dude so deep. It's not even funny how deep he just. I was like, oh, so you're dead now. And that prophecy about him losing to a half demon was just utter bullshit, right? So he asks, where am I at here? So Kirin is looking over at Ren and he hears the words of the great dog demon that night that he lost. He's like, don't bring, you know, women and children to a battlefield. And he looks at Ren, who has the same look that Rion had. Their names kind of match with just an O. But Rion had when she was looking at Kiramaru a long time ago. And he asked Sesshomaru if that's how Rion was back then. With, same way Ren is looking at the Sesshomaru, Rion was looking at him. And it was kind of weird. Like she had this weird shock smiley face. It's really hard to describe. Just if you've watched the episode, you know what I mean. If you haven't watched it, please feel free to watch. It's in the very beginning, right? And Kiramaru is asking, okay, if that's what she was doing, what's the problem with that? And I'm just like, man, I hate this family. Even in my notes, I said, man, I hate this family. So more of the reds are getting cut, and Rion is saying, back then she was glad their father wasn't dead, but she didn't want him to fight anymore. This is directly after the battle with the Great Dog Demon. She's glad he wasn't dead, but she just didn't want to fight anymore. So she decided on that day forward to stop smiling. And this is where I started with my problems, and I'm gonna pepper these through so I don't drag this on. My thing is, why didn't they just bother talking to each other? But again, why would you? That would make you a functional family, right? You can't be dysfunctional if you don't have secrets. After another clash, Sesshomaru's breaking Kiramaru's armor. It's sad. It's really sad how easily he's kind of beating him at this point. And Kiramaru says the reason why he stood again after losing to the Great Dog Demon was that he wanted to make Rion smile again. However, she would never smile again. And the thing that she wanted from him was, she loved how strong he was. And she loved to see him smile after every battle. So, of course, she would smile, but she started to force smiles, right? And, thread to keep the truth now. Okay, so Toa is pretty much happy that the threads are revealing the truth behind Rion's actual feelings, which is, it's just weird that that's what Riku was able to glean from all of this. I figured it would have been, oh no, she actually hates half demons. She's gonna try to kill you. I think that would have been cooler because we could have gotten what I thought we were gonna get based on the preview. We could have got Rion versus Toa. You are the daughter of my father's biggest rival's son. I'm spoiling now. We didn't get that. Don't worry. I'll tell you what we got. So, and I went off in my notes. Sorry, I went off in my notes about the whole series is because of family dysfunction. It's great. Oh man, I wonder if I would still like this series if it was like that in the original Inuyasha. Anyway, she being Rion says that if she had been stronger, she wouldn't have died. And I'm like, I even wrote my notes. I'm like, who knows? You can't really say that. Like even if you were stronger, like what, stronger to run away, stronger to actually beat somebody. I'm pretty sure that based on who your father is, you probably do have some kind of strength, but you can't say that because there's always going to be someone slightly stronger than you, right? And Kiramaru says he wouldn't have suffered. Oh, I'm sorry. She continues to say he wouldn't have suffered so badly. So she blames her weakness and says she doesn't want to hate her father. And she's crying and says something about red eyes. Have no idea what that means. Oh, her red eyes go away while she's crying. So the threads leave all around her when she's crying because she's finally had this emotional revelation and reveal. And the grim butterfly stops moving, and everybody's cheering. Everybody's glad. Everyone gives credit to the girls. We have the Moroha section going, yeah, Moroha. We have the Setsuna section going, yeah, it's Setsuna. We have the Toa section going, you did a good job, Toa. They're all looking up. This thing is not moving. It's great. Kiramaru doesn't want to acknowledge his part of the blame for his daughter dying. He's been held back by the things that he has lost. Very, very true. And Joggins wondering what's happening because at this point they're not clashing; they're just speaking. They can't hear, thank goodness. And Ren is saying that it looks like Sesshomaru's telling them something. And Kieran says, he really has been acting like a human. And I'm like, yeah, kinda. I mean, season 2 you have. Season 1, you were pretty much the honorable, aloof, mysterious villain guy who I was all for because of how, not just because of how strong you are and how cool you actually look. You had a decent character. You were completely different from Naraku, who tried to be cool, but he's insane and an asshole. But the kind that we like to hate, right? Pardon me. And so Kiyomaru says sorry to Sesshomaru, and his eyes glow red. And by eyes, I do mean eyes, because that eye that was covered up, whew, oh, he actually has another eye. I thought it was gone, but it's not gone. Oh, both eyes are glowing. He got the giant purpley demon energy. Guys, I like the color purple. So then when I saw it, I was like, ooh, that's pretty cool. And he gets the horns. So sorry, Riku, we got replacement horns right here. And what arm was that? This arm grows into the monster arm. He's ready to go. But when he does all this, right? Sesshomaru's like, now he literally smirks and goes, that's an opponent. And his eyes start to glow red. But there's no aura coming off of there. And I had to note that because it's like, huh. Is Sesshomaru that strong that he can just power up to like, just be like, all right, here's my demon energy power now. Now we're going to get a little bit serious. But I'm still stronger than you. Time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. Time will tell. So, as of right now, Kirin says he's running on only on demon instincts. It's like, can you handle that, Sesshomaru? And Sesshomaru says very well, Yokaro. Yokaro. Very well, he says. Jokin is remarking on how strong this demon energy is, and Ren says she believes in Sesshomaru. And here we go with the clash. I mean, Kirin comes down with the big purple energy encrusted purpley slash thing bomb move. And Sesshomaru was just like, he had his arm up the whole time, just straight down. Big green slash cuts right through the energy. And while this clash is happening, both you see both their eyes. Both of their eyes are red. Kirin has more energy shown. Dude coughs up blood. It's like, bleh. It's like, oh, so the prophecy was bullshit. Because Sesshomaru sends him straight to the ground. And one of the cool parts, I'm so glad they did this, we get the classic clash music. Like we get the dun dun dun. You guys who've seen Inuyasha know what I'm talking about. So he's on the ground. He's asking for Sesshomaru to finish him off. Ren and Jokin have already run up. Rion calls out to her father. She thanks the Yashahime and opens a little red portal because she looks over here, opens a red portal. Portal opens up right above Kirin. Threads grab him, pull him through. And then Sesshomaru is just like, Ren, follow me. Of course, Ren and Jokin are following on Ah and Un. And Sesshomaru is flying. I have to just remind everybody of this. Sesshomaru can just naturally fly. Like, what level of demon do you have to be to just naturally be able to just fly? Like, isn't that kind of interesting? Anyway, so Kirin is now held up. He's on the other side. The girls see this. Rion brought him in there. He's held up by these threads, and he's talking to his daughter. And she wants to take his hand, but she can't take his hand because she's just in spirit form right now. Then all of a sudden, the evil cackle of Mr. Kieran appears, and his glasses are floating there. Those little circle glasses. I do want a pair of circle frames, and they're floating there. And he's this purple, again, giant purple energy thing. It's going like, yeah, you can't take his hand with that kind of body. And now his purple energy has come over Rion, and she's crying out. And I'm like, oh, okay, so what's going on here? And she is reliving that night that she got killed. He has turned himself into Sakusa, the demon that killed her. And he's saying, and what Mr. Kieran said, yeah, you can't get a new body because you were killed by a half demon. I don't understand why he was speaking like that, but rah. Now the girls are watching this and they're like, okay, how do we get to her? And three individual threads, red threads, come to each of them. They all grab it, and so they can see what's going on. They're like, okay, she's being chased by this, and they can't move. Here's a thing that I'm wondering. Why is he terrorizing her Like, he wanted to help her. Why are you making her relive the guy that killed her? And because all this is happening, the Grim Butterfly is being moved by this malevolent energy. It's starting to move again. Everybody's like, crap, and there's deep miasma coming off of it. Songo is telling everybody, all right, we gotta get everybody and just move out of here. Inuyasha and Kagome with Moroku, they're kind of just like there, but they can't really go far. They're like, we have no clue what's going on. We just got to move everybody out and away. Which is one of the cutest things happen, and one of the big. I love this biggest turnaround. Was Takachiyo was saying, Moroha, you got to run far away. It's kind of touching. He went from being annoying little brother type that really made me hate him. I did not like him in season 1. I disliked him more than I didn't care for Toa acting like Naruto. Not even joking, right? So we got character change, and I'm appreciating these character changes because you can see it. At least with those two, you can see it over the course, right? So, everyone, including Kirin Maru's turn looking, he says, Rion, fight back. And everybody else, I don't even think they even heard Kirin Maru say it. But the Yashahime all say, Rion, you have to fight back because we can't do this. And so Toa goes, all right. Of course, she takes out the flute sword. She takes out the Zanzekin, and she's going to absorb some of this demon energy. She's like, you know what? I'm going to fight with her. Doesn't say for her. I'm going to fight with her. I see what you did there. You're getting an honest clap from me because I appreciate that. I appreciate not trying to take all the character's burden and saying, look, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to give you this little push. And so, of course, Setsuna tells her, don't do it. And we're seeing all this happen. And here we are to the side. There is Jaken, Rin, and Sesshomaru who have walked through the door. How in the hell did they get in there? Did Sesshomaru go up to the Grim Butterfly, cut it open better than Kirin cut it open so deep to be like, all right, I can fit all of you in here and we can just walk through. So they're watching this transpire. That Toa's taking this huge amount of demon energy. And Rion sees this, and Toa says, you need to believe in yourself and you need to carve your own path, right? And then Rion, she reaches her hand out just like the picture right here. I believe that is her right hand. She's reaching her hand out. We get the Zanzekin forming in her hand. And while it's forming in her hand, she says that she wants to be strong like her father. And she slashes the Sasaka Osamu Mr. Kieran entity thing. And that genuinely beats him. Like, no doubt. That genuinely beats him. He goes, oh, I thought if I wasn't protecting Rion, she wouldn't be able to do anything. And so he's gone now. And Toa says Gambate, which means, good job. Good job, Rion. And she faints again. And so Rin sees this. And one of the coolest things, I love it when there's little things matter like this. Like Moroha moving out the way so that their mother can get in there and be like, her daughter's on the floor. And she has a smile on her face, and Rion, little ghostly form, is above her. And Jaken's like, yo, so where's Akuru? Because Akuru can restore her cone if he's here. And Setsuna's the one to tell him, yeah, Akuru's dead. Which is pretty messed up. I'm sorry. It's just messed up that he died. I actually care. Kid was cute. Just unbelievable, right? And Moroha asks us a question that, thank you for asking a question that I didn't even think of. She's like, can't you use the Tenseiga to bring her back? Another thing to note, Sesshomaru is silent this entire time. This is what I have Jaken for. He answers these questions. Well, the Tenseiga cannot restore someone's cone. Flat out. Cannot do that. So where am I here? So Rion is saying she's very, very sorry. And then suddenly, there's this blue energy all around them. And we hear Toa's voice saying she wants Rion to use her body. And I was flipping the F out because I'm like, why? Why? No, don't do. And of course, she's like, okay, cool. No fight. Just like, Toa-sama, cool. Touches her body. Her body turns into this white clay thing gloopy glob and reforms into Rion. I'm like, Toa's gone. Like that's not even Toa. That's not even brain swap. That's like your body, our body. And she goes over to her father, and she's able to touch his hand. And he apologizes for trying to control her, even in death. And he also apologizes to the Yashahime. He says sorry to all of them, and she says, "You know what? It's okay. All that is behind us now." And so the energy, there's yellow energy that was radiating around her, and it connects to him, and we see the thread that connects both of them, which apparently everyone can see. And the Naginata that Setsuna has, the Yukari no Tachikiri, haha. It starts pulsing, and Sesshomaru says Setsuna. That's all he has to say. She's like, all right, cool. Um, but she hesitates, and Rion says, I would like you to please cut the thread that connects us. She does it, which is so weird that when your attack name is just the weapon you have, which she cuts it, and she says goodnight to her father. Join Aunt Zero. So his sword and her sword go into the sky and become one. And Jockin, thank you, Jockin, for being the explainer. He goes, oh man, the Zanzekin and whatever the heck his blade was called became the sword of Amasuki Boshi. Remember the star guy that came from the sky that forged those two swords that are two halves of one whole? Yeah, that guy. There's a mirror on this thing, and the light is coming from it, and it's pulling both Rion and Kirimaru in. And he's saying, oh, yeah, they're returning back to the sword. And then my mind goes, I'm sorry, you said returning? Is that how they were made? Because we never mentioned Rion's mother. They came from the west, which came from the west. West? Yeah, they came from the west, which would mean China. They came from the Chinese land because they are very much the Four Perils. All of these other creatures, they were very much influenced by a lot of Taoism stuff, including Kirin Maru. But Kirin is shared between Chinese and Japanese mythologies. I digress, you all. I super digress. Returns from there, even though we were never told in the first season, we were only told about this damn sword in this season, but never at all hinted that these beings came from that. And so they're inside this blade now, and they're fading in the light. Whole time, Sesshomaru is calm. I'm like, your other kid's gone, but okay. And we hear Rion said, you know what, thank you so much, Toa Sama. I'm going to give you your body back. So energy starts sprinkling down, and everyone, the girls, all the girls at least, because Shomaru's just like, that's Shomaru's modus operandi, the resting bitch face. And Toa's body builds from the ground up. She gets her form back. She's even looking around like, what? Her cousin, her sister hug her. Uh, her mom comes in there too. She thanks all of them. Well, she thanks, Toa, Setsuna, and Moroha. And she says goodbye. And she says goodbye twice. She literally says goodbye twice, but the way it was translated by the sub was goodbye, farewell, which is a good way of translating that. And then she's gone. And then the Grim Butterfly dissolves. And everybody's cheering. They're like, oh, snap, we actually did win. And before the commercial break, I'm saying to myself, if they were inside that, did they just fall straight down or did they get beamed to the floor? And just like that fade to black, that was not answered because we come back and they did the Jabba's reincarnation Mushiko Tensei thing where they have the outro with pertinent animation. And the intro, no, I'm sorry, they have the intro with pertinent information because while the ending is going on, we see not Rion, we see Rin, Toa, and Sassoon, they're hugging. She's like, I've waited so long for this, and they have too. And Sesshomaru's behind with Jogging, and they're all at the Tree of Ages, mind you. And Jockin, oh my goodness, Jockin is an MVP for asking questions. He's really stupid for having Inuyasha and Kagome put in the pearl when they could have just told them what was going on. You're dumb for that. You're stupid for that. But it's okay. I'm pretty sure Sesshomaru was really concerned about his brother and sister-in-law. He's like, the best way to protect you all is to keep you in here, right? Because they didn't want to lose anybody else. So I'll take that. And Jockin has been MVP for explaining things. So because Miyoga hasn't been around for whatever reason, and he asked Sesshomaru this question: Why did you show mercy to Kirin and Rion? He could have finished them both off very easily. It's very obvious. It's crazy that it's kind of been obvious since season one. Him and Kirin were kind of equal, and it could have gone either way. And it's very awkward when Kirin attack was draining his cone, his energy, but it looked like he took the attack so the girls wouldn't take it. And when asked this question, because he could have just killed the butterfly, he could have just said, "I'm done with all of you." And when asked this, he says to Jonkin, by the way, suck at all the haters that didn't think that Sesshomaru could beat Kirin. Says that my daughter's hearts would not have been saved. It's a big all movement. Ren waves him to come over, and Jockin is crying. And but once she waves him over, his eyes get a little bit softer, right? And Jockin is full on bawling and crying, going, "You look so happy, Sesshomaru." Sesshomaru Sama. This reminds me so much. I've been watching Shaman King 2021. Please watch it. It's on my channel. And it reminds me of when Basan said that Ren looked very happy to be hanging out with people, and you still see the resting bitch face, but it's a cute moment. And of course, Sesshomaru steps on Jockin because, hey, don't tell people how I feel. Fool, what you doing? The families convene. Over here to the left, we see Kagome, Inuyasha, and Moroha together. We then see the entire Moroku family: him, Songo, Hisui, Kiun, Gyota, Kohaku, Hisui. They're all together. And then we get our little demon pals. We have Kirara on Hachi's lap. We got Takachiyo. We got Shippo. And all of them point up in the sky, and there's a rainbow. Hey, it's a rainbow. This is the last episode, right? No, it's not the last episode. Next episode is we're going to get some of that good Inuyasha family stuff. Looks like there's one more mission for dumbass Jubei that they're going to do. It looks like Kagome is not going to be happy about that. But I'm looking so forward to this. Last episode's name is called Never Ending Future. I think that the Kagome clan is gonna go into go into the present era to meet with her folks. To at least tell them, hey, everyone lived. We're all right. Pretty sure the way with the Bone Eater's well is opened up. Hopokuru comes back. It would be nice if they are able to go between, because they still have family in the present. Don't just completely cut them off. But regardless of all this, that's it. I will say this: ending felt rushed. Legitimately felt like, hey, we got to clear this up, guys. And it's funny that I'm saying that because Sunrise, they're actually doing Tiger and Bunny season 2, which was announced last week. I will be covering that. I've already seen the first season of Tiger and Bunny. One of my favorite shows. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Gonna give you guys a review of the season 1 of Tiger and Bunny. Some really good things came out of that show. So I don't know if we're actually getting the season of Yashahime. I don't know if we actually should. I kind of want them to just wait for the manga to finish and then do that, because that stuff is making a lot more sense, personally. I Because of all the Kirin Maru and Rion stuff, like the anticlimactic, oh, the big secret is she loves her daddy. I would have guessed that. She seemed hesitant to stab him. Like, she purposely didn't kill him. That's not a surprise for me. I figured she would have been like, if you would have said the surprise was she actually hates half demons, and we would have got, I thought we were going to get Toa versus Rion, and that would have been a heart-wrenching fight to be like, man, Toa really doesn't want to kill her, but Toa is strong enough to do it on her own, not with that blade, with the real sword that she has. Would have been great, but we got this other ending, and normally this would be a 3. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 because of character interactions, because of Toa's growth, because of Takachiyo's growth, because I'm waiting for her to tell everybody about Riku, but I think they're going to give Riku a grave. They're going to give all of them a grave, I'm assuming, but it gets a 4 because I enjoyed some of those interactions. Not necessarily the Kirin Maru family's interactions, but I enjoyed everyone else's interactions. It gets a 4 out of 5. It's not a solid one. It's it's here. If I wouldn't have seen that Sesshomaru part where he did not kill just for his daughters, it would have been like a 3.5 because some stuff was kind of dropped and this was definitely rushed. But I'll give it a 4. We'll see next week's episode, and I'm hoping we close out this series on a 5. What did you think? Please do not forget to give me a like, comment down below what you thought of the episode, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. Don't forget to share the video, and as always, I am thankful for you spending some time with me. Please be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, be safe out there, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk, and I will most definitely see you guys next time. And you might see a new setup. Ooh.